Hardest part of my job is my alarm going off. That hurts sometimes. Maybe I've shed a tear at that time. Best thing is the fact that I'm around music. Hello, I'm Twin B, I'm 28 and I do the One Extra Breakfast Show.
Hey stranger, where you been?
So we play the very best in the R&B, hip-hop, grime, funky, Afro beats, basically music that will make you move. 9:48 across the UK morning. The relationship with a producer, it's really important. He looks after the output of the show. He makes sure that it sounds right, as in all the levels are all right and that there's no feedback and that the mics are all checked and stuff like that. And also make sure that the music is scheduled properly. We are talking revision. If I was in a drama exam and I was asked to do it upset while in a rush with a sore foot. You've got to be confident in what you're doing, especially talking to loads of people via a mic in the mornings. You have to be confident. You can't really kind of hold back. This week on Extra, I've got to go. I just have bad news. I'm a foot. We stick to scripts that are created, if that means being word for word, if that means knowing that I have to go off the cuff and talk about my own personal experience of something, being aware that that's what I've got to do so that we don't end up with 15 minutes of the show left and 10 things that we need to do. I used to play a lot of the local house parties and stuff, and that transferred very quickly into doing bits of pirate radio, and then that transferred into kind of a mixtape I put together. I was from East London and knew a lot of people. At the same time, I didn't know everyone who I wanted on the mixtape, but I knew people who 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 knew people. MCs from East London, Kano, Kalashnikov, Estelle, Soul Solid, and it was like exclusive music. I sent it to people at Press, people at radio, which is why I ended up on One Extra. The producer of Raskwami's show liked what he heard. 1, 2, 3.
So we've got...
Nah, you went on 3.
It's your rhythm.
That was you.
No.
That was you. I think he figured out that the person who put this together, or the team that put this together, had a passion for music and for what was on it.
We've got Sinead. Hey, she's the big news breaker.
So yeah, it was a nice call to get. Driving the desk was hard. It was something I wasn't able to do before I got to the BBC. When I used to do radio or even just mix at home or at my friends, it was just 2 decks and a mixer, and that was the same. And that pirate was picking up a mic and switching it on and off.
The One Extra Breakfast Show with Twin B.
And to be honest, it's one of those things that you can only get better at by doing it. And we did a lot of off-air pilots and we pretended we were on air, so it was just literally fiddling with as many knobs as possible. You've got to be a good knob fiddler and then you can really, really progress. And that just requires practice. And getting some advice from someone as well. Stick about for that, it's Twin. You've got to communicate things, man. You've got to communicate your passion. You've got to communicate what you want from people. The ability to be able to say things clearly via an email, via a phone conversation. I think communication is really, really important, actually. My advice to anyone who wants to do what I do is do it. I know it's really weird, but try and get as much radio practice as possible. Do it in terms of have a passion for music. That's just listening to music and knowing what's going on, which is an internet click away. Ace is on the radio after this. Dot Rotten Overload. Come join me tomorrow. I kind of always was aware of One Extra beforehand and loved it and wanted to be on One Extra. That wanting to be on it kind of channeled the things I did, the people I spoke to. So work out where you want to be and what you want to do and be around it somehow.